Hello, and welcome to the Nerdy Folks Podcast, where conversations about nerdy things inspire greater faith in Jesus. My name is Matthew Seipel Anderson. I'm host of the show. So glad you are here today. We are finally talking about Minecraft. Minecraft, the movie, has grossed a total of $948 million globally. Wow, that's a lot of money. It did fall short of the $1 billion mark, which people were speculating that it might get to that. But man, it was a huge success, wildly popular, even more popular than Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and Finding Nemo. And those were huge at the box office. So some fun little facts there about Minecraft. I watched it with the whole family, and we all enjoyed it. It was almost too scary for our 6-year-old, and it was almost too little kiddish for our 12-year-old, but I think we all pretty much had a good time watching Minecraft, watching Jack Black and Jason Momoa and the rest of the crew head into the Block universe. Here are a few fun facts I learned about Minecraft. I learned that a lot of the sets in Minecraft were actually practical sets that were then enhanced with CGI. They had a huge warehouse that they converted into Minecraft scenes, and it looks really amazing when you see the behind the scenes videos. It's so cool to see the work they put into it. I also learned that Jack Black and Jason Momoa did a fair amount of improvising on the set, which isn't really surprising given the actors. But there was one scene in particular which has come to be called the man sandwich scene. It's where they're flying through the air and they're like holding onto each other, and they embrace in these very awkward embraces. And if you see the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That was, I guess, the brainchild of Jason Momoa, and they went with it, and it is hilarious. One of the standout scenes of the whole movie. I also learned that a lot of the villagers that you saw were actually costumed actors with full head costumes, and then they would just use CGI to like tweak the outfits and stuff. So that was so cool because I thought all of that was CGI, and apparently it wasn't. And then finally, the zombies. Now, the zombies were done with CGI, but not totally. And what I mean by that is they were done using motion capture. So they had guys on set, guys and girls, they had people on set who were, in these gray, suits made of tights with all these little electrodes on them, and they acted and walked out the parts. So even though the zombies were done with CGI, it was based on an actual actor's performance, which I think is so cool. In addition, there were other things done with motion capture, like some of the dog characters and the animals. They would have like puppeteers on set holding like face models of these things, and then the actors would interact with them, and then later the performance of the puppeteer would be replaced with a CGI animal. But still, it's so cool to see how they incorporated real humans into the shooting of Minecraft, and it wasn't just a cartoon with Jack Black and Jason Momoa thrown in there. Another aspect of the movie that was super fun, especially if you know the game of Minecraft, is the fact that they threw in so many little Easter eggs and little deep cuts from the video game, from crafting recipes to locations that are really in the game. And they also put in something that was really touching. They had a pig wearing a crown walk out, and Jack Black said, "That's a legend." And that was a heartfelt tribute to a Minecraft content creator who actually passed away. His name in the game was Technoblade. And Technoblade, his avatar in the game was a pig with a crown. So pretty cool. And he died as a young guy, and it was very sad. And he made a lot of really amazing things in Minecraft and became famous for that. Now, it just wouldn't be right to do an episode about Minecraft without talking to some people who actually play. So we're going to cut to some interviews with my 10-year-old and my nephew, and they both are Minecraft players, and they're going to tell us some of the things they've built. And when we come back from that, I'm going to give you the reason why I believe Minecraft the movie has been so successful, and I think it comes down to one word. So stick around till after the interviews to hear all that. So here I am with my 10-year-old who has been enjoying Minecraft this last year, and she's going to tell us some of her favorite things that she has built in Minecraft.
I made a hotel and a pit of doom.
Whoa, those are two pretty different things. Tell us about the hotel. What made it really special?
I don't know.
What did it have that you made up?
A pool in the basement.
A pool in the basement? That's an interesting idea. Did it have any windows?
Nope.
So it was a totally dark pool.
But I put torches in it.
Okay, that's just creepy.
Okay.
Speaking of creepy, you made a pit of doom. Tell us about the pit of doom.
So I also kind of made a castle, and I also made villager houses, and I put villagers in them. And the idea was that if the villagers didn't obey me, they'd get thrown into the pit of doom.
Very, very nice. Very clever way to govern your villagers. Well, thanks for being on the show. All right, I am hanging out with my nephew, and we are talking about Minecraft and things he's built. So tell us about some of the fun things you've built in Minecraft that are like your favorites.
Yeah, so I've built some like secret bases and like mountains and stuff, and a lot of houses, and yeah, I also like playing in survival because then it adds a little bit more of an interesting aspect to it. But yeah, I've built like houses in mountains and.
Wait, you built a mountain?
No, I haven't built mountains, but I've built houses inside of mountains.
Oh, that's cool.
There's actually like some math to building in Minecraft because you got to get the exact like dimensions and stuff, and if you want it to be even, you got to count out how many blocks you want for each like side and stuff. And I haven't really built anything super big, but I've built some pretty cool stuff. And I'm also kind of a redstone genius when it comes to Minecraft. So that's why I've built a lot of secret bases and a lot of like contraptions and stuff.
For people who don't know about redstone, what is redstone? Like you said, you're a redstone genius.
It's red, and you can usually find it in stone, like in caves and like mine shafts and stuff. And sometimes like ravines, and usually it spawns decently deep in.
What are the special qualities of it?
So you can use it to power stuff like redstone lights and like secret doors for secret bases like I was talking about before. Like if you're playing with your friends or whatever and you don't want to be found, what I like to do is I like building secret bases in mountains and then adding trapdoors powered by sticky pistons and redstone and all this stuff.
How do you make something like a piston in Minecraft? Is it something you do with the crafting table, or is there something else involved?
You use the crafting table, so you go down to the mines again, and so you gotta get these things called slimes. You get a couple other things, I can't remember, I haven't made pistons in a while. Yeah, and then you can just make a whole bunch of these sticky pistons that can stick to blocks and stuff, and it's just great.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing about your creations.
Yep.
Well, thanks again for hanging out with me. It was super fun talking to those guys who actually play and love the game of Minecraft like so many do. Now, before the interviews, I had teased that I thought the reason for this movie's success could be brought down or distilled to one word. And I'm going to share what that is in just a couple moments, but I need to preface it by saying I think Minecraft could have been a very run-of-the-mill kids movie. And I think it would have been relatively popular if it had been a run-of-the-mill kids movie, because Minecraft is so huge, people would have checked it out, people would have enjoyed it just because it's connected to something they already love. But I think this movie went above and beyond. It became the kind of thing that non-Minecraft players wanted to go see just because it, in and of itself, was a great movie. And what is the one word that I would use to summarize why this movie was so successful and why it was above and beyond other movies in the same genre? I think the word is commitment. Specifically, the commitment of Jack Black and Jason Momoa to give this movie their all and to treat it so seriously and just to dive in, literally head first sometimes. Their performances were awesome, and then combined, the chemistry was even more awesome, and it was just a joy to watch. And if you've seen any of the behind-the-scenes footage, you can tell that those guys have a vibe together. They enjoyed working together, it seems like. And Jack Black even did things like played hundreds of hours of Minecraft. I think it was 150 hours of Minecraft in preparation for the role. And then he set up a group Minecraft game with the cast so they could play together. And I think that level of commitment showed through in the final product. I really do. You could see commitment in the level they went to with the physical comedy, with the things that they came up with themselves, like the flying man sandwich scene that Jason Momoa purportedly invented, which was a huge highlight for the whole movie. There was a scene where they were at the chicken shack and Jack Black's doing his typical Jack Black shtick, and Momoa has this close-up. And I thought he was going to cry. In the scene, he's trying to hold in his pain because he ate a hot piece of chicken. And it's just hilarious. And things like that where actors take scenes to that level, it's amazing. And it was the perfect movie to kind of go all in and almost overdo it. It was awesome. Like the chicken jockey fight, the songs, like at the end when they're like jamming out in the video game store with that song, there was just a charisma there that was really easy to get swept up in. Because when we see someone buying into something wholeheartedly, it makes it a lot easier for us to buy into something. And that's why we love to see commitment in people who are leaders in our life, people who are teachers in our life, our friendships. A lot of times we look for that, maybe not consciously, but certainly subconsciously, we're wondering, is this person really committed to be my friend? Do they actually care about me? Or are they using me? What's the deal? So commitment is really, really important, and no one exemplifies commitment like Jesus Christ. And when I was thinking about an anecdote or a piece of scripture that kind of highlighted this aspect of Jesus, I actually thought to myself, I'm going to start at the end of the story, so to speak, after Jesus' death and resurrection, because at that point, Jesus' followers were very shaky in their commitment level. They had run away, gone into hiding, they had denied him. Specifically, Peter had overtly, blatantly denied Jesus. Yet, Jesus shows up when they're in this very shaky, uncommitted state, and he proves his commitment to them. He reaffirms it. And so in Luke 24, it says this, "And Jesus said to them, 'Why are you troubled, and why do doubts arise in your hearts? See my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Touch me and see, for a spirit does not have flesh and bones, as you see that I have.' And when he had said this, he showed them his hands and his feet, and while they still disbelieved for joy and were marveling, he said to them, 'Have you anything here to eat?' They gave him a piece of broiled fish, and he took it and ate before them." So he's doing these things to show them, I have really risen from the dead, and I am committed to you guys, even though you ran away from me, you fell away, your faith was shaken, but just because your faith is shaken doesn't mean my faith is shaken. I'm still going to choose to call you and choose to love you and choose to place my name on you and call you forward into fresh commitment. And I love that. And I think that Jesus is still like that in all of our lives, that he is still willing to come to us when we are weak, when our faith is shaken, when our commitment level is shaken, maybe even in times where we have denied him by our actions or by our words, we still find him willing to come to us, willing to draw us back to him, and accept us, dust us off, and set us going in the right direction again. So it's amazing. Hey, I hope to create some more content around some of these scriptural themes, and I'll be letting you guys know about all that stuff once it's a little farther along, but looking forward to that. Hey, if you enjoy what we do here, please consider supporting our show. There are some links down in the description that will allow you to give in different ways to help us out. We need a marketing budget. We need to get to conventions to meet people and extend our reach. And you could be a part of helping with that. So you can go to our website. There's a link for a tax-deductible way to give if you'd like to get a tax donation. And you can become part of our Patreon. In fact, I just spoke a few weeks back at a church, and the message that I delivered is up on Patreon for our patrons. So they get first dibs at hearing some extra content, and you can be a part of the community there. All right, well, until next time, thanks so much for listening. Love you. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.